messages. We'll be right back.
Once you discover the dependability of a Tippman, you can kick anybody's planet.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, you guys? My name is Raptor. Welcome to The Fortification, the channel made by geeks for geeks. And today is our second episode. I'm not even on camera, holy crap. It's our second episode of Layin Ropes. We have a lot better sound quality this time, guys. No echo. So today what we're going to talk about is Tippman. Is the workhorse and possibly the foundation of paintball, in my opinion. And we have some guests here today, as you can see, some returning guests. They're returning for this episode. One of our newest members, and possibly our most, I think he's actually our eye candy for the as a secret. We have Venom / Gator. Welcome. Hello. Oh well, damn it. So we have Venom on the show. Welcome, Venom. And we have a sidekick. What's the name of your sidekick? Mm-hmm. Blake. Okay. And and we have our sponsor. He owns a field. He lives, breathes, and eats paintball. And he shot me in the back more times than I can count. I'd like to introduce Nitehawk. And today we're going to talk about Tippman, guys. I hope you guys liked the intro. That took me like 15 minutes. But I really liked the... No sound for Venom? Venom, say something. Do you hear Venom? Confirm. Well, yeah, on our thing. Hold on. Second. Yep. Oh. Just say something now. Really? Really, we can't? Okay, son of a... Desktop audio, for some reason, is being a jerk. Alright. Headphones. Okay.
People don't realize that I'm.
There we go. We got sound. Okay.
Yay!
You can finally hear us.
You guys, you know what? It's kind of funny. We would not have. It would not be a proper Layin Ropes episode if we didn't have sound issues. I think that's the that's the key to this whole thing is having sound issues. But at least I'm not hearing an echo of my own voice in my head.
That's true.
That's very true.
At least I could still hear you instead of not hearing you like for a half an hour.
Yeah, right. Well, except the fact you're missing your margarita, by the way. Very sad about that.
I have to fly back to my sister's for that.
You can get a margarita here. They do exist.
We don't even have a microwave.
You heard it here first, folks. For all you paintballers, Nitehawk's advice is to microwave a margarita.
Yes, because I've been hit in the head a lot of times. Actually, in the throat. Thanks, Ivan. That was for you.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar, which I'm sure most of you are, but if you guys are first-time viewers or starting paintballers, this show is made not just for the experienced paintballer. It's made for the new paintballer as well. So, we're going to talk about Tippman, and if you guys don't know who Tippman is or what Tippman is, it is a brand of paintball marker. And Dale happens to have a few of those on hand. So we're going to be talking mostly about the history of Tippman and the particular markers that have stood out. He happens to have 2 of them here.
Three.
So 3 of them? Okay, so which ones do you have?
An older 98, 98C, and an A5.
Okay. So basically, if you want to show those off, if you've ever been to a paintball field, Dale, go ahead and show those off in front of the if you've ever been to a paintball field, you've probably seen a Tippman. Which one's that?
This is the original 98.
Okay.
Okay. This is 98, kind of small. This is original 98. Of course, this is 98C or custom. And this is old school A5, Cyclone Hopper. A little bit different drivetrain, but pretty much the same.
So, so first things first, let's talk a little bit about Tippman. Paintball itself became, the first paintball game was roughly 1981, as far as my understanding is. And Tippman itself came around in 1986, and they were originally a manufacturer of miniature machine gun replicas. Most people, I don't know if they knew that or not, but they manufactured basically 22 caliber versions of like the M249 and the M60 and whatnot. And then a firearm law passed, which made it so they could not do that anymore, so they had to find a new market. And the market they found was paintball, which was just in its infancy. So I don't know Dale, when did you start playing paintball?
Not soon enough. back in 04.
Okay. So by that point,
04.
I think the A5 and the 98 were both out at that point.
Yes.
So tell us about your first experience with a Tippman.
Well, first of all, I had went out and bought paintball guns. I had no idea what I was buying. I just need a paintball gun to play with. And I ended up buying spiders. Of course, they have spiders and spider clones, which is similar. And I think when I finally came across a Tippman, it was like, wow, these are really durable guns. Markers, I should say. They just, as long as you keep putting 3 drops of oil in them, they just keep going. As a matter of fact, we have a bunch of rentals that are probably 10 years old. I've really haven't done anything to mess with them other than the detent.
True.
Valves work. I mean, as long as you put oil on them.
So, what about you, Gator? You came in recently into paintball. So what was your first marker a Tippman, or did you use something else?
My first marker was in fact a Tippman. However, it was the A5. Now, I believe Nitehawk can show you what the A5 looks like.
One with the Cyclone. That's a silver one.
That's the Cyclone. That's this thing here. If you look closer, see if I can zoom in.
Right,
you
Squeaks?
can see the thing, and it actually chambers the ball into the gun. And what it is basically every time you fire, the exhaust will fire this ratchet. It'll actually ratchet every time you fire into the gun. Really unique way of having chamber the balls in the gun for you, instead of having, which the 98s have, is a hopper, and then they have the balls just basically fall down by gravity. It sucks because if you're shooting on the side, they don't work so well, and the balls will basically kind of stick together a little bit, and you have to shake the gun to get the balls to come down.
Yep.
A5s are pretty good because they'll just literally just grab them, put them in.
Yep. You can also go a lot more full auto on them too.
Yep.
Correct.
Now, my first experience with a Tippman was a little different because I started in 1991. My first, so I had two markers my first time paintballing, and it was in the Lower Yakima Valley. And I had a Sheridan PGP, which we'll talk about at a different episode, but those things are amazing. And then I had a Tippman Pro Light. Dale, have you even seen a Tippman Pro Light?
Yes, I know what Tippman Pro Light, yes.
Yes, you haven't come in before.
And there's a few out there that they work just as good. I mean, they're just real hard to work on, but
Yeah, but they
they
were
don't
the
come
same thing.
apart
They,
as
they fired
yeah.
every time. That was the thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? Now, here's the funny part. If you're ever watching the news and you ever see a riot, so in a foreign country, like recently, I saw it in the Chinese riots. The police, in their full riot gear, are using Tippman Pro Lights with pepper balls in them. So that's how durable they are. That the police departments, Venezuela, China, a lot, our freaking military, our not military, our police use it for riot control because of the pepper balls. So that's how durable they are. These guns came out in the 80s. I think the Pro Light was like their second marker. One other one, Pro Carbine, was the one that they had originally. Oh yeah, Seattle and Portland both use them. And I found that fascinating because whenever I saw these riots, I'd see the police running around with Tippmans in their hands. They have the full riot shields in their gear, and they're shooting at civilians, but they're shooting at the ground. They're basically the pepper spray comes. But it's just interesting that they would use those for that because they always shoot. But that was my experience. Yeah, they're using A5s now. Yeah, because they feed faster. But yeah, the Pro Light was my first one. I don't have the picture with me. I have to have my mom scan it and send it to me. But there's a picture of me holding a carbine and a Sheridan PGP, and I loved both those markers.
You were 8?
I was 11.
Back then?
I was 11.
Okay.
So I was even older. So
Ooh.
yeah, but that was and the thing is, like, I think Dale, you can probably vouch for this. Have you ever been to a field where the rentals haven't been Tippmans? Think of one.
Yeah, there's a few. I actually was up in Canada and they had, I don't know what brand. There's been a couple. Okay. Virtual Salt. Had, what were they now? I can't even think of the name. There was Spider.
There was Spider Clone.
Spider Clone, yes. There's another kind of popular that actually Hungry Dave actually sells them now.
Right? And the thing is, like, if you look at all the starting markers, they had piranhas, really? Are you serious?
That's what it is. It's a Piranha 3, I think.
Oh my god, really?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's like a better version of this Spider, but they were pretty easy to take apart and clean and fix, but
now,
to me, they just didn't last as long.
Now, mind you, like, here's the thing. Like, I've always said this: if Tippman approaches a show and says, "I want to sponsor it," there's not many paintball brands that say yes, right? Tippman, I would say yes. And the funny thing is, I don't run a Tippman, right? Most people eventually upgrade past to Tippman, or they mod the crap out of their Tippman to the Gatling gun, or they make a double trouble, which we haven't even gotten into that yet. We'll touch on that part later.
That's another episode down the road.
It's weird that Venom hasn't even seen the double trouble yet.
Thanks, Ronan.
Yeah, Ronan's the one that brought that in. So we'll talk about the double trouble here in a second because that's just a whole new. That's just
Piranha.
the next step.
Yeah,
That's
Piranha. That's,
but
yeah.
The thing about the Tippmans is here. Okay, so for me, they've always been involved in paintball in some way, shape, or form. I've never been to a field that hasn't had Tippmans as their rentals. So Dale, being a field owner, why do you choose Tippmans as your rentals? Why do you choose that?
Well, for one, cost. It seems like everyone had bought them, and now I can get them fairly cheap. Now, granted, the newer ones, so basically there's 3 versions. There might be even 4. The newest version is basically a split case where you can just take the front part off and change the detent. But those are, and I should have grabbed one of those, but anyways, same idea.
What's a detent, by the way, while we're here?
Oh, detent for everyone is, I don't know if you can see it.
It's a little dark.
Probably not. There's a little, what it is, it's just a little finger that's made out of rubber, and it just holds the ball so it doesn't come out of the barrel. Basically, it just prevents the ball from rolling out of the barrel. And all guns have detents of some sort, or it's a little nubbin that holds the ball and the gun so that the bullet can push it out and shoot it.
Oh god, I just dropped a cup. So on my marker, this is Automag. This little piece right here, that's the detent. That unscrews, and there's a little, basically a rubber bumper that goes into here.
Exactly.
That does the same thing. So every paintball marker has one in one shape or form.
Well, except for the Phantoms. The Phantom has like an O-ring that you put in, but most people use free kits and stuff like that. But that's totally different ball wax.
Right, right.
If you're a Phantom owner, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. I always keep crushing the stupid O-rings.
Yeah, I think my experience with Tippman's was, I can't remember, it was at one of the local fields. It was at Clan Battles, and there's that river, and I tripped because I always trip, and I fell.
No, you trip a lot.
Yeah, so I face planted in the water, and Dante was running past me in her high boots and mini skirts, so maybe. But basically, she ran past me. I face planted, so I had a Tippman that had a paintball in it, but also had a shit ton of water in the chamber. So the first guy I see, I fire, and a paintball comes up, but a crap ton of water hits him in the face and just totally disoriented him. And Dante managed to shoot him because the ball bounced off his mask. But point being is that they're the AK-47 of paintball guns, basically, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I say. I mean, I've had some guns that are 10 years old and they're still going strong, and I just tell everybody, yeah, they're the AK-47 of the paintball. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's cast, but I mean, I've seen these drop as we have rocks at our field. We have boulders. I mean, they just take a beating and keep going. Like I said, the only thing we've ever had issues is sometimes the feed neck will break. But most of the time, it's just all it is just a detent that goes bad.
It's like a $2 fix.
And then, yeah, and I buy it in bulk. So,
well, the thing is also, like, there was a point in time. I don't know if you can still do this, but I knew that early 2000s to mid 2000s, you could go to Walmart and buy a full starter kit that was a Tippman 98.
Yep.
And it had. Yeah, Raptor has a unique relationship with the ground. Yes, I come back to your warm embrace, Earth Mother. Yes, I faceplant a lot. But yeah, that's the thing. Like a Tippman, I could beat against a rock and still shoot. But you could go and buy this starter kit, and the mask sucked. the hopper was.
Matt has a tendency to break everything.
Yes, I do, and that's why I'm a definitely for all those
paintball. Don't give Matt guns.
No, for all those. No, yeah, you can. But if you want somebody to test your marker for endurance,
yes, you are a good tester.
Or tactical vests or halo hoppers. but yeah, so I do faceplant a lot. But the point being is that gun was perfect because I could land on shit and still actually fire it. So that was my experience, and the Pro Light was no exception. It was just the Pro Light had less moving parts. It was all one solid piece of steel, so it was harder to take apart. That's all basically the 98 was an up carbine or the Pro Light. And there was one point, I don't know what time frame it was, but Tippman did decide to go into the propane gun market, which there wasn't one. They invented one because nobody was wanted to use propane in their markers. But yeah, it ran on propane, and it got 9,000 rounds in one.
Oh yeah, it was a C3, I think.
C3, C7, something like that.
Yeah, it was so that people that were out in places they didn't fill CO2, they could use their propane tanks as a way to propel their paintball games.
C3, thanks, Crazy confirmed. C3.
Yeah.
And I remember when that came out, and I remember everybody going, I want to try this because you can get a crap ton of rounds through one tank. But it never really, we were talking about it this weekend, or last weekend with, I think it was a Sniper Steve, we were talking about the fact that there's things in the paintball market that never really picked up, like the warp feed, like the Q loader, which some people still use, but it never really blew up, right? I've seen
the C3, I think I've seen one in my lifetime.
Yeah, they tried it, but the thing is they tried it, and that's the thing I will give Tippman props about is they innovate. They're like, we want to try something new, right? That's good. We need that in the paintball market, honestly. And for Woodsball, honestly, I don't think there's a single Woodsballer or scenario baller that hasn't at least used a Tippman gun at some point in their life, right?
Yeah.
As far as I mean, yeah, to the point where I'd rather give them a Tippman use time than a spider because a lot of times, yeah. Now, granted, spiders will work if they're lubed right, but I get a lot of people that come to private games and they're like, hey, a friend let me use their gun, and they pull this out, and it's a spider. And it's like, well, when was the last time? Oh, it's been about a year or so. And it's like, okay, it doesn't work. Well, then I try to put oil in it to see if it fires. They just won't. If it's a 98, you put 3 drops in it, boom, it's pretty much 90% guaranteed it's going to fire.
Yeah, if you're
if
you go to a pawn shop, right, as a new player, and you have a spider. I mean, don't get me wrong. I ran a spider for 8 years. Right, that was my choice. I was more on the speedball side of things, but I have used Tippmans. In fact, I used a Tippman. What was it, 2-3 games ago, where I put my mag down and I grabbed a Tippman, and I was like, I miss these things, man. They're nail drivers. They're not super accurate, but they get the paint to where you want it to go eventually.
Right.
Right. You have to lay a lot. You throw enough shit at the wall, it'll stick.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of funny. We do a lot of private games, and of course they want me to play, so I'll just grab a 98 and just go. I mean, you can play with them. I mean,
so there's something I want to show on the stream real quick, and this is kind of touching on this, but this is the one of the directors with Tippman talking about what the Tippman is, and I think this kind of covers what we just covered, but it'll so stick with me for just a second.
I think what made Tippman famous was they produced what I always term the Chevy truck of paintball. And by that, what I mean is it's not the Ferrari. These are not $1,000 or $2,000 guns, but it's not the Yugo. It's a Chevy truck. It's the workhorse ones. It's the ones that everybody uses.
So, okay, we're back now. But basically, what he was saying is that it's a Chevy truck paintball gun, not the Maserati. Oh. It's not the Yugo. It's the Chevy truck. It's the durable thing that you buy that'll get you.
Whoa. No, it's a Ford truck.
Okay. But, I mean, honestly, that's what a Tippman is. Tippman is the dependable vehicle. That's not the cheap crap. It is cheap, but it isn't built cheap. Right? It's inexpensive. You can get a Tippman at a pawn shop for $20. If they charge you $100, they're ripping you off. Just saying.
Yeah.
But that's the point. There is the fact that that Tippman is the dependable brand, and no real paintballer can deny that. Even if if Tippmans aren't their cup of tea, like myself, right? They're just not my personal preference as far as using. They're heavier, they're more milsim, they have a longer profile, right? So they're lower to the ground, so they're made for you to lay prone versus a speedball gun, which is tall and narrow, that's made to tuck in, right?
Right.
Actually, Dale, do you remember that SPPL that I handed you my red mag for the first time, and you ran Tippmans forever? And you were like,
yes, first time I ever ran a mag. Yep. I was pretty impressed with the response trigger on it.
Yeah, but the thing was, the one thing I noticed as being a Tippman player, and this is something that a speedballer would pick up on first, and that they won't know certain things about Tippmans, is that your elbow was way the hell out. Like, you're going behind a tree and your elbow was out here because you're used to firing it like this. Speedballer, you're up, you're tucked up, right? And so that's something that you're like, oh, because I noticed oh, man, you're gonna get your elbow shot off, and so you started playing with your elbow tucked in, even when you were running a tip. And now you're running Mac Devs and all that kind of stuff. But the point is that you play differently with a Woodsball gun versus a speedball gun. You don't learn those traits unless you're playing that type of sport, and you take those things into Woodsball as well. And that's the thing. It's like.
Very true.
Yeah, if you play Woodsball like a speedballer, a Woodsballer is going to react differently.
Exactly.
The chicken wing. Yeah.
Chicken wing, yes.
Yeah, your elbow was way out there because you weren't used to tucking it in. You weren't used to peeking behind bunkers. You were maybe a tree, but when you run a speedball marker, it just feels differently. And for me, the Tippman is a little further out, so I grew out of them. But even though I grew out of it, doesn't mean I don't respect the fact of that's where all of us came from, was Tippman. And to this day,
yeah.
I mean, Gator, you're new to the sport, right? You've ran speedball markers. You ran Tippmans. What's your opinion about you know, how like you started off with a tip, and you run an A5 though, right?
I run A5 and First Strike T15.
Okay. So I mean, and that's the thing; they're still innovating. So the Tippmans are running some they're running some mag feds, right? 15 is a Tippman, or is that an Empire?
Excuse me, guys. I can hear you. Can you please like quiet down, please?
Yeah, everybody in the audience yell at these guys too. Get the hell out!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of the screen.
Honestly, we could. I don't
Xavier,
think
Dad says get out of the screen.
get out of screen. You got further in the screen. You got further in the screen. He's like, I saw that look. That look was, fuck you.
Yeah, he's in the main meeting room for Venom.
Yeah, I'm in the living room.
Yes.
Well, I'm in my basement.
But anyways,
yes.
Back to the question.
Back to the question.
Yeah, speedball markers are pretty cool. You know, being able to stay in a position, just ramp all day long. I mean, it's pretty cool doing that, but like run out of ammo. Unlike MagFed, you can still run out of ammo, but like it makes you wait and then take your shot. Boom, like wait, shot. It's more. What's the word?
Patience.
Patience. Yeah. Now T15, like the 98, for example, same thing. Sort of. It's gravity fed, so it's gonna take some time, especially when the ball gets stuck in the feeding tube. You have to shake it. You know, that's always aggravating.
That's kind of like blowing in the cartridge on a Nintendo cartridge.
Yeah, and then
it's the same thing for Tippman. You gotta learn to shake that fucker. Shake it.
Yeah, but as to the A5, the A5 it has that rotator, which is pretty cool.
Rotator.
Because okay, I'm sorry. I don't know painful
Excuse
parts.
me, you didn't use the proper term, which was cyclone feed.
Yeah, he's still learning. He's baby steps.
You need to use the term cyclone feed. When somebody says gun versus marker, I don't get pissed at them.
Cyclone feed.
Because did you notice that the director of Tippman that was on that clip called them guns? He doesn't call them markers.
Yeah.
I was like, I get why they made the distinction, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you're talking about the cyclone feed. We knew what you meant.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's somewhat almost no, like there's a gap between the A5 and like a regular speed marker, because with the A5 you can still fire.
Dale is a paintball purist. He will correct you. He's like a
crazy. Just shoot me. Just shoot me.
Either way, okay. The A5 can like fire pretty quickly depending upon your trigger finger, unlike a speedballer.
So
did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Training 101 for Venom.
How long have you two been married now? So here's the thing that
oh my God.
Yeah, the most legal definition there are guns, right? Yeah, but I get the reason why they call them markers. They want to separate.
Where's that in the back?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Like, if anybody that played back in the day in Walk in the Wild Zoo, a little bit before time there, Dale, but we had a player named Nadia on our team. He had an A5. Also, who was the guy that hung out with Ronan? Joel.
No, well, Joel. Yeah, Joel had an A5. Stacy,
Yeah.
I think, had an A5 too.
Did. And so those A5s were not typical A5s that you would get as a rental. Those are response trigger full autos. And so the fact that you can take that marker that is super durable, which you can trick out a 98, but you got to do some work with it. Put some stuff on it, but not a lot. The A5 was made to be modded and to have the RT on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, the 98, you could put an E-grip in it too, and then they made adapters so you can put a cyclone feed on the 98s too.
Right. And so when you see somebody who's committed to the Tippman, has just stuck with Tippmans their entire life, it's because they have to modify the crap out of them, but they're really cheap to mod, honestly, with the exception of the double trouble.
Yes.
So let's talk about the double trouble, because we've mentioned it a couple of times so far.
Oh, I should have grabbed it.
Right. So, Venom, you haven't seen the double trouble at all, have you?
No, I have not.
We've told you stories, but Dale,
Yeah.
I want to explain what the double trouble is.
So double trouble. Basically an A5, but realize there's one here and one here, and it's joined together, and then it has a crank system. And the way that Ronan had it, he basically had his vest and one big ass
Bomber tank.
air tank. It was like 114, 45, one big line going in it. It split to both. And basically the idea, he had his vest, and I think he had like some type of harness that went to the gun, and he literally just sat like this, and then he had the discos on him, and basically he just sat there and just crank it, and he just rock it back and forth. He was pretty amazing with it. Actually played a couple tournaments. Crazy Eight and Squeaks can vouch for that.
Were you there at Clan Battles when we went to Night Owl's Field? He brought it out for the first time.
What was that again?
Were you at Night Owl's Field when he brought it out for the first time?
Oh yeah, that was Clan Wars.
Yeah, they had a big
That's
cardboard.
where we got our best.
They had a cardboard stand-up of somebody who is currently president of the United States. This is way before, but it was a cardboard stand-up, and that was the shooting range where you test out your markers, and people are in this long line, and they're like, check out my angel, and they're shooting their gun and showing off their guns. And then Ronan shows up with this freaking thing that is loud. You can hear it from across the field. And
Like 2 miles away.
so it was the scene from RoboCop when all the cops are test firing their guns in the shooting range, and then RoboCop shoots that hand cannon he has, and everybody kind of stops and looks over. Like, you see these guys like, check out my at the time it was like $1,500 angel, and they're firing it off, and then all of a sudden and that cardboard cutout went down, like just blah.
Yeah.
And even Ronan's eyes got big because he hadn't really fired it that much yet, and he's like, oh god. And everybody around us was like, they just shut the hell up and looked like, what the hell is that thing? And then you could hear, like, I always knew where Ronan was on that field because you could hear where he was.
Well, that was our plan. He would be the point man, and us that like to sneak around and be, flankers. To basically, they're so in tune with Ronan's gun that we just annihilate them from behind because they're so scared of Ronan's gun.
Also, the cool thing is
Marker.
it's really easy to move up when you have that much suppressing fire going towards the enemy. Crazy raise his hand. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I could truthfully say that some of the best markers I've ever had next to me were Tippmans. I mean, Squeaks, I forgot that you even ran a Tippman. I always see with the damn pump now. I really rarely see, some people have moved and changed and gone to, their Mac Dev, or in my case, the Mag, or some people have gone to the Timmies or the Outer. But before all of that was Tippman, and the fact that they're still on a field and can hold their own, even now, is impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah. The only thing I could say a game changer is but I could see the Emacs maybe down the road be more of a rental in the future. But for the cost though, why would I change if I basically got 80 plus 98s for rentals?
I think what we should do is we should have your rental fee, $20, $25, whatever your rental fee is, and then double it for one person. Say, if you want to double your rental fee, you can run the double trouble. And we'll get it running. We'll get it functioning because we have to give that thing some TLC, but it needs to make a resurgence because even like the police paintballer guys, they haven't even seen it.
Dude, we would have to get a custom vest, like a whole 12 pods, and
it was more than 12. He had a lot more than 12 on
12
that.
or 14 or 6. I don't know.
I think
he
he
had
had
pods everywhere.
He had 8 on his back.
It was
He had
crazy.
3 on he had 3 on either side on the front. He had 3 of the hip ones. Like he was carrying like a case and a half of paint with him on the field. It was ridiculous.
Yes, the Juggernaut could have fun with the double trouble.
Oh yeah. It's
Really had to have a scuba take on the back of the Juggernaut, but man, the Juggernaut suit is super heavy. So
my buddy, I'll give it some TLC. Hell yeah. My one of my buddies, Scott, who has been on the field twice, I believe, and this was AI Wars that he played. So he came out and played. He played back in the day, but he came out there and he had no idea that the double trouble was even on the field, let alone what it was. And he ran into it and got lit up. Did not expect it, because one crank of that crank is 8 shots. Just one, I think it was 8 or 16. It was 8, I believe. And it had 2 hoppers, obviously, but he just railed onto Scott. My buddy Scott did 3 rotations, face planted in the dirt, and slid a good couple of feet. And got up and was like, "That was awesome!" He was just so hyped because he's like, "What the fuck was that just hit me?" I can't remember. Oh, does anybody remember? I don't know what game it was. It was the one my mom brought Diego down. This Diego was a kid that's probably no heavier than Venom here. He was a young kid, very athletic, and Monty Doom was Flash Bright's Ransom. Okay. So Diego came out with my mom. She brought him over, and he's this young kid. He was, I believe,
Hi, Ransom, Flashbite.
But he was
paintballer. I know who you are. I think.
I think Stinky Bobber
Trying to figure out all
Ricky.
these names.
Ricky is Stinky Bobber 7 Ricky, by the way. Pretty sure it is.
I don't know. I don't know who 00 Crazy 800 is.
Hey, and Dad and Punks, by the way, that guy's a really good YouTuber. I love his stuff. He did one of his videos about.
Who is he?
He actually said he was a visiting
7,
member.
Not sure who that is.
Yeah, I saw his. He has a Dad and Punk's YouTube channel. Check him out. Actually, I watched a bunch of his videos. He narrates a lot of the games he travels to, and he came out to one of the games recently played and narrated it, and very gracious. He's running TAC 8s, I believe. He's running a TAC 8. Anyway,
trying to be like you.
I just want to let you know, Dad and Punk, I love your stuff, dude, and keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
So shout out there. But anyway, so we're at this scenario game in Oregon, and Diego comes by, and Monty Doom is getting tired. He's getting tired.
With you.
Yeah, right. And basically Monty Doom gets tired, so he comes off the field and he goes, "Hey kid, do you want to run the double trouble?" And the kid has no idea what a double trouble is. So this 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid. Very athletic, but very small. They put on the vest and he sinks down a couple of inches, and then they mount the double trouble on his chest, and the eyes went from here to here, and Monty would be out there, but he wasn't playing. He would just point and say, "Kill that." Yeah, I knew it was you, Ricky. All right, yeah, but so watching him turn and Monty just go, "Kill that," and then he would just shoot, and the entire tree line would be covered.
Okay, Rick who?
Ricky.
Ricky
yes.
Allen? Okay, well, I don't
Ricky
know.
Allen. But yeah, so that's I've seen.
know a lot of Ricks.
There's not many different different versions of the double trouble, but
Yes,
there's the discus.
a 98 version.
Yep.
2 98s put together I've seen.
T-Devil ran 2 Apexes on his.
Yes, but
That was
also Shrek, Crazy 8 can vouch for this, had 2 tactical drones, I believe, into a double trouble.
Really?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, right, Crazy 8? I'm sure it was a tactical drone that he put those 2 together. I'm sorry, Ricky. My bad. Yes,
Well,
I'll send you that file later.
Send that. TAC drones? Yeah, it was TAC drones.
TAC drones. See, yes. I told you.
Bagman and I were talking about putting opposing side warp feeds with 2 mags and making it into a double trouble with E-grips.
Ooh.
With we wanted to use a Microsoft Flight joystick. Mounted into the
Yeah,
board.
since stopped working.
Of course.
Yeah, because he put a lot of paint.
But yeah, the fact that Tippmans will last forever. And I'm trying to think of any other variants you can find of oh yeah, and then we haven't even gotten into the X7, which I think crazy. I think did you make one at Elite Weekend? I know that Third Eye did, but I don't know if you get to make one as well.
Make one?
Like they got to custom build their X7s.
Yes, custom.
Because those are the tricked out ones. Those are like the oh, you didn't get to build one? Okay. Because I know that Third Eye did. I don't know if he still has it, but
Probably not.
He's running Mac Devs now. But like my buddy Derek, he had my dad was Elite Weekend, better. Elite Weekend admission includes an X7 or an X8. Oh, gotcha. But yeah, I was like, it better include for how much you're spending for that. So we'll get Elite Weekend will come up. Actually, I'd like to have you and Third Eye talk about that. So we'll have another episode where we talk about paintball companies that have come and gone throughout the year.
That's a good one.
You right?
We can be here for 4 hours.
Right, we can talk about all the different ones that have come and gone, but sold his to finance the trip. That's funny.
That's right.
But
he sold his soul.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of what are some other Tippman variants that we can think of here. Yeah, right. Warp feed DTs. Yeah, it'd be expensive as hell. I'm just telling you that right now. Two mags with opposing side warp feeds, and then you have to make the bracket that'll hold it, and then you have to figure out the E grips on it, so it's going to be an E mag, and it's got to be able to RT because it's got to be able to fire fast enough. But with the E grips itself, so. But we had the idea of basically. Yeah, a little bit. The idea was because it's not gravity fed that we could me and Derek drew out this concept of a smart gun from Aliens, the one that like has the Steadicam mount on it, and so we were going to use like a percussion marching band's chest piece, and we were going to have a Steadicam on it that would hold it, and we'd have 2 warp feeds so you can hang upside down and shoot it. But and it was going to be awesome because you could like hide behind a tree and then come around and shoot ridiculous amounts of paint upside down. But yeah, let's think of some other Tippman markers that have come out. Okay, so we got the Pro Lights, we got the C3, which was the propane one. We got the
Griffin,
98,
the Griffin,
which is the newer. Is it the newer one?
The Griffin, the F12s. The F12s are the Reynolds.
Which ones are those? Explain those a little bit.
Which ones?
The Griffins.
The Griffin was basically like a speedball gun. Had 98 internals. It's like the really bottom line. Even I think bottom than the 98s were. They were really basic, very kind of cheaply done. I mean, they were like the worst ones. Like Kronos.
Oh, the Kronos. Yep. And then the 68 carbine. Yep, which is there was the 68 carbine, cool. And then there was the Pro carbine, and then the Pro Light
carbine.
And then
the F12s, which are still around quite a bit. I see a few fields that run them.
The SMG, of course. The SMG was the first semi-automatic. Paintball marker. It had a select switch on it, I believe, that you could actually fire full auto or semi-auto. Pretty sure it did.
That was probably way before my time.
Oh, that was before my time. That was SMG was Tippman produced the first semi-automatic marker, and it was the first semi-automatic marker. I have to go back and refresh. Somebody fact check me on that. Yeah, wind up
full auto. Huh.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it was interesting, and it was the fact that because Tippman made they originally were. Yeah, it was the first full auto, right? Yeah, and I was like, because they made replica machine guns in the first place, and then they just couldn't make those anymore, so they made all guns. But it's funny because, like, I remember playing a game at Virtual Assault in the Speedball tournament with 2 of our former teammates, Renegade Sniper and Moons, and they were running Tippman 98s, and Renegade had the 21-inch long barrel on the Tippman 98 custom.
Oh, yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was huge. And we're going to we were in a speedball tournament, and their speedball tournament had an incline. It was like this. So nobody wanted the bottom side because they had to fight uphill.
A valley. It was like a valley. It was the bottom of the valley.
Yeah, and so you see me in my, and I had a tack vest. I may have had a mag, but I had my tack vest on. Renegade and Moons both had their tack vests on. They're running 98 customs, and we go over there and we just walk to the bottom of the field. We're like, we'll take the bottom because we're used to fighting uphill, and wrecked their face until I collapsed. I had a chest attack. It was long story. Gallbladder. It wasn't a push pin. It was a gallbladder.
And here you are.
Yeah. But anyway, long story short, like being able to take 98s and take them into a speedball tournament and have them laugh at us and then have them lose, cracked me up. I mean, you can shoot a lot of paint. If you don't hit, it doesn't matter. And
Right.
with a Tippman, I've seen dirt go through them. I've seen them go underwater. I've seen them. The rumor, the internet rumor, is that they used to test Tippmans by dropping them out of airplanes and then running them over with a tank. No joke. And then there is a video at some point that I have a section of that video that I had earlier that talked about it, where they showed them cycling the marker. They literally hooked the gun up to a trigger puller and they cycled the marker, and they said if it's not good for 100,000 shots, it's not up to their par, and then they'll take them.
Really?
That's the A5. Not good for 100,000 shots. They will send it back to you.
Well, you might want to check on the bolts now, because I know mine won't last.
I don't know, man. Your Tippman's
probably because they're made all in China now. The bolts and the sears, they just don't. They're not as good as grade.
The quality, but they still work.
Yeah,
the spiders had bolt wear. That was their deal. So if you look at
bolt, no rings.
Yeah, because like there was Tippman 90, actually Tippman Pro Light, Tippman 98, and then the Spider came out, and then you had these. Spider became kind of a competitor for the 98. They were kind of equivalent. Those the two starting markers.
Kind of, they were, yeah, but they were, of course, they were a little bit cheap, way cheaper, to make it more affordable, which made sense. But
well, the
by the time you spent working on stupid Spider, or there was really no upgrades other than maybe a barrel, a lighter bolt.
Well, the thing is, you didn't need them.
Expansion chamber.
Yeah, I mean that's really. I had the expansion chamber. I had a Spider. Spider shutter was basic legal.
Well, so you and Tiger Ghost basically spent a lot of money on your free Spider.
No, Timber Tiger, and Timber Tiger spent $1,200.
Okay.
Timber Tiger spent $1,200 on a Spider. I don't know how.
And Crazy could vouch for that.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think he spent most of it on the toolbox. Because that toolbox
was
like
because he didn't play much. He was the tech guy on.
Oh, he did back then, but yeah, he had like.
He did.
Oh yeah,
that's right. It was before my time.
But yeah, the basically the Spider was at that time in the early to mid '90s was the only equivalent you had to. Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, he spent so much on eyes. Why do you need eyes in a Spider? Oh my god,
oh my
so stupid. Oh my god, it's funny.
Hey, Crazy, do you have those little eyes that we could glue on guns still?
What, googly eyes?
Yeah, he spent
my
so much money.
Has eyes.
But the point being is that my Spider was super dependable. The only thing I had to worry about is after X amount of rounds, you would have some bolt wear. But that's it. It ran beautifully. I shot Crazy plenty of times with it, and if I can shoot Crazy with it, then it's a good marker. Because there's some guns I can't shoot Crazy with.
Yeah, because you're falling down all the time.
No, it's because I'll shoot his kilt right behind that damn tree, and it's just whipping the wind. I'm hitting it, but I'm hitting that damn kilt. Same thing with Crunchy. I hated that stupid kilt. But like that was the thing. Like it was a good, dependable marker. I could fit it in a backpack. I didn't have a gun case. I still have a backpack for my gear. But the Tippmans.
What do you mean? You just come out and use my stuff.
Yeah, true. Well, exactly. But yeah, that's the point though. But to get back on the track of Tippman, the fact that they're still putting out new markers, even though they're iffy on the newer quality ones.
Well, they're going towards more of the MagFit stuff.
They know their market. Their market is Woodsball,
Yeah.
which is why we're talking about it.
And they actually have put their toes into airsoft now, so that's another story.
That is true. Daryl talked about that. We had a 98 shell literally blow up in the last game, which is rare, very rare.
Yeah, very rare.
Yeah, it blew open, which is not something you normally see. But yeah, like the thing.
I have seen the 98 or A5 back part pop off. They'd wear, or the C clip pops off. I've seen that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
not very often, but
and then
it happens.
Yeah, now and then also we have a wild card out there, which I don't know if maybe expected me to talk about, which is Ben Tippman.
Oh yeah, the other side of the story.
Yeah, so that is.
Totally forgot. That's a good point.
Ben Tippman is something. If you're going to talk about Tippman, you got to talk about Ben Tippman too, because technically they're the same family. But
Exactly.
basically, I can't remember what the relation was, but one of the family members.
Well, they're brothers.
They're brothers, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the brothers broke off and decided to make basically a 98. Basically, the original Ben Tippmans were 98s, but they had tack rails on them. He redid the body, and he added tactical rails on it and added the ability to mod it.
And then he used, basically what it was he used an A5 thread for the 98 style instead of a 98 thread.
Right. So
There's
he
really
slightly
no
changed
difference.
it, and there was a lawsuit involved. Story.
And then the feed neck, because it had the rail sights on it, it would slide in and slide off. You couldn't push the button and flip it out.
Right. So Ben Tippman is a sore spot in Tippman's eyes, but most paintballers are like, I'm happy there was something else out there as well, because they had the Tippman model with some. Basically, they took it out and made it into a Supra.
Yes.
So you could trick it out and get aftermarket.
They
crap
actually
for
made a cycle feed, but it actually made a electric cycle feed for their BT Tippman, a Vive version.
Which I don't even know.
Which was pretty cool.
I don't know what the resolution of that was. Did Ben Tippman stay in business? Are they still around, or did they resolve it?
I don't know. Does anybody know? I haven't seen much of.
Sounds like a BT Combat.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, BT.
I know they're out there, but
yeah, BTs were out there. They were in a small window of time in paintball. I think they came out right about the time we were in the second year of SPPL, maybe the first year, somewhere around there, like 2006, 2007 ish.
Yeah.
And then there was a lawsuit. Family members were mad at each other. Blah 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 blah. Long story short, but the market expanded slightly because of that. Because
yeah, and it had, people had a different option instead of a Spider to something similar to a Tippman, but different. I had, some uniqueness of it. I mean, they had A5 barrels instead of the 98 barrels, which were pretty common. So, and I think the internals pretty much the same. Identical. I mean, you can pretty much take a 98 bolt and put it in a BT version bolt.
And the main reason they got away with it is because they were both family members. They had
but the only drawback, I had to work on some rentals or BT markers for a group that had 10 of them, and like a 98s basically have a Allen screw that for the clamshell style. Well, the BTs were an Allen screw, but they also had a nut on the back side that were totally, it wasn't a normal nut. It was like a, casing that squeezed in into the other side, the clamshell. And all the time it would either strip out or it would strip the other side of the, it was such a pain.
Now, actually,
I had
Dale,
to buy a whole new.
You've mentioned clamshell a couple of times. I don't know if people don't understand what that is.
So, okay. So basically, we call it clamshell. So the gun, show you here. Basically, there's a seam. So this is one side, and then this is the other side. And basically, once you take, if you could see closely, there's these little bolts in here. And once you take the bolts out, this all basically pops apart on each side, and it just separates in two different pieces. And that's why I call it clamshell.
Yeah, so the first time I ever worked on a Tippman, which was why I never work on Tippmans again, is because I set down the Tippman, I took off all the bolts, I took off the one half, and every Tippman user has done this the first time. Two little springs go doink doink.
Oh yeah, first time I ever.
And you have
worked
no
on
idea
one,
where they
it's like,
came from. You have no idea where they came
How does
from.
this go together? I do not know.
Oh, did
And I remember,
Empire pick them up? Oh, Empire picked up BT. Of course they did. They're the Disney of paintball. We're going to talk about Empire. They just acquire everybody.
Basically, yeah.
This show is now owned by Empire because they bought us without us even knowing it.
Right. So
which I'm totally cool with happening, by the way. Thank you.
Back to spiders have no clamshell. It's like one molded piece, and you basically pull the whole bolt out and whatnot. And it's a totally different system. But these were really, once you learn how to fix one of these, they weren't that bad.
Yeah, once you figure out where those springs go.
Yes. There's there's this spring here. There's a trigger spring.
Oh no, it didn't go over my shoulder crazy. Spider does launch its guts over your shoulder, but actually it didn't launch over the shoulder, it launched into my face. So to give you an idea of the difference between a spider and a Tippman, I was running my spider shutter in Oregon, and it was really cold. It was Aftermath 2020. No, it was the second one. Anyway, long story short, I'm firing so much that there is a layer of frost on my barrel from the CO2 that I'm shooting. It's like a layer of ice, right? And I'm firing, and basically the spider is one molded piece. Here, I'm going to do this. Molded piece. So it's similar to this. Okay, so here's the body of my mag, right? But there's this, and then there's a second piece right here. And there's a pin that goes like this, and then there's a little butterfly on this side that you clip in, and it holds this piece in place. So when you take this out, everything slides out the back, right? Well, as I'm doing this butterfly piece popped off, and I'm firing, and this pin's doing this, right? It's just sliding out. So after I get about 2 or 3 hoppers through, I go, peek, and just the whole internals of the gun fired out the back of the gun and hit me in the face. And I go, hit! Just instinctually. I just yelled hit because something hit my face. And then I realized it was my bolt. And by the way, the Spider Shutter's bolt is black steel. It's the black aluminum. So it lands in the Oregon clay mud. And I'm standing up like that guy in World War II going, where'd my arm go? I'm like, I dropped my bolt. Where did it? And there's paintballs whizzing like this. And I'm just like, where's my... go? Somewhere. And the ref is like, get the hell down, right? And so I finally find it. I'm like, oh, there it is. Thank you. And then I put it back in. It didn't get hit the entire time somehow. And then put my bolt back in and it fired fine. So, but I love how I'm watching myself on the playback because it's a 30-second delay and I look retarded. I look ridiculous. I'm like, hey! But anyway. So that's the difference, is that all the internals come out the back of the gun, and the clamshell comes apart half. And so the nice thing about it is it's all die-cast aluminum. Like, that thing is a solid piece. So you can probably even take a chip out of that body and it'd be fine. Everything that was even questionable too sent back here. Brand new guns. Yeah, I mean, Spider doesn't really have, the newer Spiders have more maintenance issues. Classic Spiders like the TL, the shutters, those tend to be a little more solid, except for bolt wear. Eventually, wear on the top of it. Yeah, that's just normal wear and tear. Tippmans kind of have some bolt wear sometimes, not heavily. There's some.
And Daryl has a pretty good point about from Tippman. I mean, I know Army Dave has dealt with them, and I've dealt with them. I mean, pretty much if you have an issue, just call them up. They'll take care of you. Spider, on the other hand, I don't think you can even get a hold of anybody.
I happen to have a clip, by the way. Hold on, I'm gonna
play.
I'm gonna play this.
Oh,
yeah. Hold on a second.
We do an enormous amount of pre-planning and testing of our product to assure that you don't need to have a great service group to take care of it because the gun's not going to break. It's our goal that if a gun comes into us and needs repaired, it gets turned around in 24 hours and back to the player. We do not want a player to be sitting without a gun. And of course, the gun has to work and work correctly.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys are listening to that at the same time. But that's reason. Honestly, the thing is, like, you would say, oh, that's just a company trying to talk up their product, but it's really true. They do stand by their material because they don't really need a heavy service department because the guns don't really break that often.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the customer service is pretty good. I think that's probably what's propelled them to be one of those top, I wouldn't say top tier, but a really good company. If you have it, they're willing to help you out. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they're
pretty much the newer stuff, yes, but I'm sure if you talk to the old ballers, they will probably know how to do an A5 and definitely a 98 easily.
Well, A5s kind of confound us old school ballers. If it's more complicated than a slingshot, we can't.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, A5s, when you get to the Cyclone feed, that's when it got a little confusing for me. But they're honestly, even for them, they really didn't have that much trouble. It's just the fact that you could fire faster and you can keep. They upgraded just enough where you can keep up with modern speedball markers, and then you could trick it out and make it even faster. Which is our mid squad in SPPL was a double trouble. It was me with my Automag RT, and then you had Joel with his RT'd out Tippman A5. Yeah, I mean,
right.
That was our heavy machine gun squad, basically, and it worked because between the three of us, we could pump out enough paint to lay a wall in front of the enemy. Purpose. Aaron was the one that was like, and he still could fire fast, but he was the fast guy. You were the fast guy. I was the mid guy that could fire a lot of paint in one direction when I'm standing up there, when I haven't tripped yet. So, that's why it worked, because Joel with his A5 could keep up with a double trouble and an Automag RT, and the fact that an A5 could even do that was impressive.
It's amazing what I think I picked up 10 A5s with response triggers, and people were like, holy cow, this shoots pretty fast. It's like, yeah, that's the advanced packages I have. So you just got to watch your paint because you'll go through it pretty quick.
Yeah, it's like me running Daryl's Ego. I was like, I'm out of paint.
Yep. That's 6 pods.
See, the mag, I don't have to worry about that. I run on air way before I run out of paint. So that's the thing. So it's, I mean, that's the main gist of it. I mean, I think we've pretty much covered Tippman. That's most of my clips from the Tippman's website, at least. And also, there's one other thing I want to talk about was the more recent developments with Tippman. 2014 was when GI Sports purchased Tippman, and since that happened, some changes have happened to the way their market feel. How do you feel about that? Would you ever get a brand new Tippman as a rental if it were used and cheap?
I think it's because of the cost. It is really hard to make it worthwhile. I mean, I've actually played with the Emacs and totally could see where those, and they're mechanical, how good they are. I mean, I'm still amazed every time I play with my MG100 how much fun I have, and it's so accurate off the box. But of course, those are high-end guns. But the Emacs was just similar, same thing. So for the viewers that don't know, the MG mag-fed version of the Emac, it will
which we showed in the last episode.
So I played with both. They play exactly the same. The Emac would basically, I mean, that would be my next step for a rental gun. It's just flat out. Now, granted, I want to see how in 2 or 3 years, how well the durable, that hold up.
What is the Tippman Raider? Ransom asked, what do we think about the Tippman? I have no idea.
Raider?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
look it up.
you have the. So you have the. Oh, it's not the combat machine. What is it?
That's looks like a Sterog almost. What the hell is that the feed for it? I can't really pop it onto the thing while I'm chatting here, but
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
hold on, I'll grab a picture. Let's grab it.
So basically, another idea I just thought is basically it's supposed to look like an M4 platform. And of course, I can't think of the name of it right off my head, but it's the same thing. It's basically a 98 internals. They just add like a stock on it. And, all right, someone
Hold
can
on,
post up what it is because I can't think of the name.
I'm grabbing it right now. Talking.
What's the M4 version of the Tippman 98? I see your lips moving.
This is a ANS gear that I am no way, shape, or form.
What?
Yeah, there is a watermark on this, but.
Oh, okay. I see what you're showing.
So that looks cantankerous as hell, but I don't know if is that the feed?
What is that? That looks like
I can see.
Oh,
okay. Hold on,
it looks
I'm
like
blowing
the
it
one.
up. There we go.
It basically, yes, it looks like a Defender.
It looks like a Stereo.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
It's a double trigger. So it has a double trigger.
They basically have in the stock area. That's where you put your paint. It's a Defender. It's just Tippman's version. It's to me it looks hideous, but that's me.
Yeah, it looks weird. That's what I mean.
Right.
It looks cantankerous, but it's. I mean, I don't know how it performs.
Okay, what's the 98 that's like an M4? I can't think of the stupid name of it. I'm giving them away.
Alpha Black?
Yes, thank you. Bingo, you're a winner.
That's all mechanical.
Alpha Black, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing about Tippman though, is they've tried new things and they're not afraid to try new things.
That's true.
They never sacrifice their quality. Like even the propane Tippman was still durable as hell. They kept there's certain things that are common amongst all Tippmans. Yeah, so I mean
TMC, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad gun, but I've heard I believe when they're trying to use first strikes, it's not that good. Or it does do first strikes. Yeah, the TMC is a mag fed. I think Violet used to run one.
Did she?
Positive on that.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. Like the one thing that you consistent about Tippman. By the way, in no way, shape, or form is this episode sponsored by or paid for by Tippman. This is literally.
Yeah, we wish, but it's not.
If the thing is, if they say, hey, we're going to sponsor you, it's after this episode is already out because we're already.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather get endorsed by a company.
First strikes with mods, but you have to have them for the TMC that shoot first strike. It does not come first strike ready.
Right.
So, I mean, that's like I said. The EMAC is you can use either one.
So it's a mag-fed round ball, is what you're saying?
Yes. It's only round ball, but with upgrades, you can change it to first strike.
I think at some point I'm going to do an episode about first strikes because I do want to have a debate.
Ooh, hold on.
But yeah, I want to do at some point. At some point, I want to do a debate show on first strike because
you got something on your finger, Gator.
Yes, there are two.
It's
There are two sides.
strike.
There are two sides to this
go.
this first strike discussion.
Magwed?
And I think Crazy said it best. He said, "If you use first strikes, you love them. If you don't use first strikes or you get shot by them, you hate them."
Yeah. See, where's that? Yeah.
I would love to see some tests to see if you can crack a lens at 30 feet with a first strike because I bet you can.
Yeah.
I want to eventually for another episode have an episode that's going to be a first strike debate, and it's going to be friendly. And at the end of it, we're all going to agree that first strikes exist, are in the universe, and are not going away. But the debate needs to happen at some point. Yeah, of course you love them. Of course you do.
Hey, I love them.
I'm not saying I hate them. I hate being shot by them, but I respect players that use them.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
do eventually want to have this debate that I'm not going to be involved in. I want
Sure.
two. I mean, I do have strong feelings about first strikes.
Okay.
Right. I'm curious.
Yes,
'cause,
they do.
Yeah, they've carried them right into my
Yeah,
freaking.
right here.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
and they carry them right into my knuckle. Right
Twice.
here. Here's where I always get hit with first strikes.
Yeah.
Here and in the left testicles. Here.
Because that's
The left
what's
one.
that's what's hanging out, Matt.
Apparently,
That's why.
my knuckle
and you're
and
like
my
this.
and anyway.
Okay, wait. You're like this with your gun.
And I'm apparently right
And
next
you're
to
like,
it is
"Shoot
my.
me.
I'm holding it
Shoot
right next to
me."
my crotch. Right.
Yes.
But
Well, no, you're scratching. You're scratching, and that's why you get shot there.
okay, that's what I was curious about. I've never seen that. I've never seen the testing, so I was curious about that. That was a question that I had. You just answered, so they have passed it. But yeah, I would love to see a debate on those at some point, and with the understanding that at the end of that debate, we have no say or hitherto into whether or not first strikes will still exist in paintball or not. They are still going to be around. They're still going to be sold. They're still going to be allowed on the field. But I'd love to have this debate because it'd be hilarious. I think
Well, maybe we'll get Ivan on.
sure. Yeah, get somebody who's get a solid first strike player that only runs for.
That would be Ivan.
Yeah. I've been shot by Ivan a couple times. Actually, I heard. I seem to recall you being hit by Ivan. I seem to recall that guy, son of a bitch, coming from a bunker somewhere.
Yes.
But yeah,
I have a scar from Ivan.
I do too, right here on the neck. And he was actually on my own team. Just saying. Yes.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, I think a debate would be good with the understanding, with like any true debate, the understanding should be that the end result isn't an absolute yes or no on anything. It is just a debate. That's all it is. And you're still friends at the end. That's the way it should be.
I have to disagree with Ricky. I've been hit by a paintball, actually by Crazy 8, side of the head, and it ranged. Pretty good. I've been hit a few times that way.
Kent shot me twice in the ear twice on the same goddamn day. It was Kent both times. I scared him both times. He shot me in the ear, and it was like wee, and I was stupid for 5 minutes. Like I was like, "Oh, what round is it?" Because of course, mind you, I was running my my mask that did not have the ear protection because I let my mom use mine. It was her first game. It was Full Metal Jacket. But I was running the one with the remember the one with the spikes in the front? They had the the Predator spikes. I was running that one because but I've been shot in the ear twice in the same damn day by the same teammate. Not even an enemy, a teammate.
Hey, we don't do a lot of team kills here, dude.
Shut up, Dale. We're still friends, but we're gonna debate that right now.
Oh, you just like getting shot in the ass at night.
Yeah, you couldn't see the Raptor on the back of my vest reflecting. Anyway,
I didn't have my night vision on that night.
I don't care. It practically glowed in the dark. I was right next to a damn glow stick. You could see it. I swear. I heard the giggle
I thought you
too.
were pole dancing. That's why I had to shoot you.
Oh yeah, well I was. But so anyway, guys, that's so far what we're doing. I think we pretty much covered Tippman to a T. And what I want to do is I want to do a couple more of these spotlights in the episodes. So I think we're probably going to go up through the year. So Tippman would pretty much be, we can go back to Sheridan if we want to go, or even Nail Splat.
Oh, yeah.
If we want to go old school, but not a lot of us have really those. I mean, you've seen
I got a Nail Splat, I think, in a box somewhere.
Yeah, we have a PGP in here in the house that is missing.
I got a Sheridan too, I think, somewhere.
Yep, the Sheridan PGP
Maybe.
was. So those are my first two markers. But yeah, if we want to go back that far, I'd rather have people that have random since the beginning. I don't think we know any paintballers.
Oh yeah, we can talk about ions too.
Yep. We'll talk about ions. I want to have a mag episode. I'm gonna wait till we get Tom K as a guest. That's what we're gonna. He's gonna come on and talk about it. And honestly, if I ever have Tom K as a guest on this show, we're gonna talk about paintball 10% of the time, and the rest of it's gonna be.
Well, we need another section on pumps, like phantoms.
Phantoms. That would be that would probably be an Aaron. Actually, what I would do is I would have 3 people I would have on that one. Would probably be Jake, El Toro Loco, Crazy. because all three of them are pretty partial to pumps. You want ions as the next one? I came around during the ions, but I was a mag guy, but I will more than happily host and mediate that one. So I'll need to have people that know what they're talking about when it comes to ions. Because I mean, if anything's the Supra of paintball guns, it's definitely not. Anything you can get custom aftermarket parts for, or if we can find Tiger Ghost and get him on here, because good God, his ion.
Ion was the first under the $300 mark electro.
Yeah. Yep. And I remember when they came around, and by that point, I was going against
a
lot of them.
from Army Dave.
Yep. So yeah, I'd rather.
I bought the Spec Ops kit for it.
$199, right? So what I want to do is, for you guys as the audience, because you guys, a lot of you guys are from the field, or
I don't steal a lot of money then.
Yeah, but for a lot of you guys that are on the field, if we ever do a spotlight on a marker, like for instance, if I ever did a Timmy episode, I would probably have Serenity, I'd probably have Jake on, because they both tended to run Timmys, and I want to have people that are experts in that type of marker, and I'll just mediate it. I'll ask questions about it. Or I could even not be on it, but I'd rather. But the point being is, if you are interested and you are a subject matter expert on a particular type of marker, let me know. Send me a Facebook message, and I'll put you on the list. Put you on the list for guests, and then I'll keep. Most of you guys that are regulators, I kind of know what your markers are, but even if there's some that you would want to talk about, like the rich history marker, like I'm going to get into the mag side of things. I'll probably see if I can get GI Jim on. I can talk him into coming on the show and talking about him. He'd be a good choice, and then maybe Sniper Steve would be a good choice as well, talking about mag. But the same thing for autocockers, which would probably be and Sharpie markers. We can talk about Sharpie markers. You're an expert on it. We'll have an episode. But so that's the point. Anybody who I have on the show that we're talking about markers, like for Tippman, it's the easy one because everybody is a slight expert in Tippman. Because everybody's using them. And Nitehawk especially, because you have a crap ton of them. I think that you could have stock in Tippman's company by how many Tippmans you purchased.
Probably 198s and 30-ish A5s.
Yeah.
Yeah, most field owners they have a crap ton of Tippmans. So that's so I think we've covered the Tippman side of things. But as far as our next episode, we're going to do one beginning of November. I'd rather do it further away from the holidays if I can, just because of viewership. And I'm sorry for the delay on this one, guys. Long story short, move, and then my radiator exploded, pretty much.
What is it that your Jake calls your car?
He calls it Hitler's Revenge because it's a BMW. I call it 9 Oberfluben because that's what's written on the radiator. It says don't overfill, but I like saying it. 9 Oberfluben.
No, you can't use a Sharpie in a 98.
You could. It would fire it, I think.
Yes, I know. We fired Cheez-Its and
what?
A long story.
We fired a firecracker out the end of a Phantom once. That was the way the conversation went was, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. Ooh, that's pretty.
I think we fired a crayon out of one.
Yeah, that happens. So, okay, so guys, so that's what we're gonna wrap up the Tippman episode. Next episode is gonna be early November, so it'll probably be on a Thursday, and I'll be able to market it a little bit more because I won't have a delay on it. And let me know what you guys would like.
Before we wrap this up, let's. Daryl's got a good thing. Without Tippman, where would rec ball be?
That's a good question. You ran a rec ball field, Dale.
So basically, I think what Tippman basically brought like a showcase rental or a showcase marker that anybody can use. It was very reliable. It basically kept you in the game. You were not on the sidelines like the Spider guys always having to work on their guns. You were able to grab the 98 and play. I mean, there's a lot of times like I have people at the field show up and they have guns. They always go down and say, "Here, grab a 98." I mean, it's always works.
I've done that myself. I've had to pick up a 98
Yes,
and I
think
missed it.
They've been around so long, and they basically taken care of their customers. And I think a lot of fields, would have to find other ways or other places to get guns that were reliable enough to make their customers happy. So
yeah. I'm curious because let's see here, 1986. Where was paintball at that time? We had Nell Spots. We had Sheridan. We didn't have any semi-automatic paintball guns because that's really when they Tippman's put the first ones out there. And then by the time I got in, which was 91, the Spider was Spider and Tippman were prominent. The Ion hadn't come out yet. the autococker and mags were the pinnacle of speedball at the time. But at 250 feet per second, yes, they do.
Yeah, exactly.
But Tippman,
and they're not biodegradable.
Tippman mass-produced a marker that allowed fields to know what they're dealing with when it came to their rent. You don't have this hodgepodge of markers. You have one dependable marker that you can get inexpensively. It was the Chevy truck. I mean, you can upgrade from there, and I recommend that every player start with a Tippman. Don't start with a Phantom. Don't start with an Ion. Start with an autococker. You're not going to know how to maintain it. You're not going to know how to take it apart and put it back together again. With a Tippman, you're not going to have to. If your gun breaks down, you set it on a table, and somebody's going to walk up and fix it. That's how it works in our field, at least.
Pretty much everybody has parts for a 98. I mean, it's just I think pretty much any field that you go to that I know of, someone either is going to have parts or know at least how to work on them. Especially if you get it at a pawn shop or whatever, or
Well, to give you an
yard
idea,
sale.
like I said, I had a Spider shutter, right? I had that in a backpack with my mask on the backpack, and I would go out to this field. It was a rec ball field that was used, and I had a duffel bag, and that duffel bag had 10 Tippman 98 customs with 10 CO2 tanks and 10 hoppers and 10 masks, and I would just drop that duffel bag and say, "Pick up your shit," and go.
Yeah.
I ran rentals. Like, that's what I basically did. I had my marker, which was different, but I had those 98s. Now, why didn't I buy Spiders? Because one, there weren't enough Spiders in the area. Number two, the Tippmans I'm not gonna have to worry about fixing them. They're bricks. You can hit them against a tree, they'll still work.
Yeah.
So that's
Ransom,
why.
just so you know, we don't put stuff in our guns other than paintballs because they're gonna hurt someone. End of story.
True.
Good night.
Right. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't shoot those. That's those.
Yeah.
You've heard everybody say it. There's two things that new players say. Ha ha ha! I froze a paintball and shot somebody with it. No, you fucking didn't. Did not shoot somebody with a frozen paintball. Otherwise, it shattered before it even left the barrel. Or it's just gloopy. We've tried it. We've done this test. It doesn't work. And then the second thing is I put ball bearings in my paintball gun. I'm like, well, if you don't like your paintball gun, you're gonna first of all kill somebody, and second of all, you're gonna destroy the gun. This period. Ball bearings gonna do damage to that bolt.
Ransom, if you're just using a paintbrush, you're not playing paintball. Put your paintbrush away and go home. End of story.
Amen.
It's not even paintball anymore. Now, if you want to pick up a paintball and throw it at someone, that'd be a different story.
We've done that.
Because I've done it.
We've done that. We've done that in
I've done
SPPL.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we did that at a national tournament once. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, we got yelled at a little bit for that.
Well, Crazy got yelled at because they didn't know who I was. Or
Yeah.
there's like, oh, the Crazy 8. Some guys from like Idaho or something. Anyway. So, guys, so yeah, basically that's the gist of it. We're going to do the next episode first Thursday of November. So that'll give me enough time to get some media together like I did this time.
Yeah, give me a date so I can schedule you in.
Yep. And then, guys, let me know feedback-wise what you thought of this episode. I'm sure that the sound quality is a lot better on this one. So
Yeah, we had to work on Matt's mic because he's cutting in and out for me. But
you were cutting out
we'll
a
get it
little
dialed
bit,
in
too.
again.
Yeah, but, I mean, for the most part, we weren't having feedback coming back into my face. That's the thing.
Yeah, that was because TC was next to you.
Right. Yeah, we just broke the spirit. Was that the word he used? We broke the spirit of his game. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty accurate.
That's why his screen is empty.
Yeah. But yeah, so let me know what you guys thought. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, Daryl. I really do. And then we'll do the next episode. I am going to be doing some more outright gaming stuff on this channel. I'm actually migrating my gaming channel over to this channel, so you'll have paintball content once a month. I'm going to have some other talk show content that I'm working on, mostly cinema related, movie related. So if anybody is a cinephile like myself, meaning that they love watching movies and directors and getting to know stuff like that, let me know. And then I'm going to have some gaming content, mostly World of Warships, Apex Legends, because Season 3 is out right now, so I've been playing that with a new character. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, amongst other games. I will do single player Saturday at some point. Now that it's winter time, I'm going to have a lot more Saturdays to chill out in the house. So I'm going to do some single player Saturdays where I play a single player experience and you guys can interact with it and experience it. If you haven't seen my playthrough of What Remains of Edith Finch, it's a 2-hour video, straight 2 hours. If you're ever like just cleaning the house, watching it, jump on the YouTube channel, check it out. That game is moving. And I had a bunch of grown-ass men with like dust in their eyes that were like,
well, maybe I can have Raptor put me on one of his beginner episodes of playing games. That should be fun.
We'll start with Tetris. And we'll work our way up.
No. I like the War of Warships. I think that's pretty cool.
World of Warships is pretty awesome. Yeah, and
I have it on the Xbox.
What
have you played with the subs yet?
With what?
The subs.
The subs? Not yet.
Submarine.
No, they're not out yet. They're actually coming out.
Oh, okay.
They're one patch away from getting submarines, and I'm going to try them.
Okay.
I've seen some of the gameplay.
Play a couple, yeah.
I did play. They had an event, a Halloween event 2 years ago where they had subs, and that was like they usually do like a small weekend-long event to show a new mechanic. They did have subs in that one. It's the same mechanic. They just added some stuff. But so I'm familiar with them. They're interesting. Pretty much have to be a destroyer to be able to kill them. Battleships are kind of like they can just drive
sitting ducks. Woohoo!
Yeah, they're sitting ducks. Cruisers are out of luck too, but
yeah.
So it's interesting. But anyway, long story short, guys, we're gonna be doing some gaming videos. Obviously, Dale, what game do you have coming up?
We have our Halloween game.
Yeah, which is last weekend. Not the
what
last
date
weekend.
is that?
Yeah, what date is it?
Shoot, get calendar. Let's see. Bring up my calendar. That is the 19th.
Okay, 19th. I'll definitely be
Yep.
out there. And
Yep. It'd be Halloween themed. It's basically heroes versus. And actually, Steve has got some nice, pretty cool door prizes.
perfect.
So check out the Facebook page on Nitehawk Facebook Paintball for more details on that. And then in November, we have the weekend before Thanksgiving, and that date is, go to the calendar again, next month. That is
the turkey hunt?
the 23rd. Yes, the big turkey hunt. And that is also our food drive. Three
That's weird.
cans of food, you get a raffle ticket.
It's
for,
weird because
more prizes.
it feels like turkey hunt was just like a month ago.
You feel like a turkey?
No, because I mean, well, I still have vivid
Look like a
memories of.
turkey? You look
I have
like a
vivid
turkey?
memories of the last turkey
He's
hunt. 'cause-
stuffed enough.
Yeah, I know. That's a bittersweet one.
Yep.
For you guys know, my Raptor and my son Brandon dressed up as raptors, and they were helping protecting the turkeys. So
Permission granted.
Yeah.
Permission granted. There, Ricky. You mentioned the Northwest Nitehawk. No, but that was a fun event. That's the thing I remember. Also, there's a couple videos of you dancing around in that turkey suit. A lot of good memories.
Yeah.
So there's nothing.
another shout out is Nitehawk Northwest
Nighthawk.
page.
And
Yep.
I'm gonna. Oh, by the way, guys, all links to all this are in my affiliates page on the Defortification website as well. So if you go to defortification.com,
which I haven't learned.
under affiliates, Nitehawk is up there. Northwest Nitehawk is going to be up there probably tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, get on that, man.
Yeah, and I'm working on some stuff. I'm going to be doing a tabletop game. If any of you guys are Star Wars fans, I will be doing a Star Wars tabletop game. That's going to be a weekly event, and it's going to be using the classic D6 system. I have one character that's already done. I have 4 other players that are going to be involved. So if you guys are into Star Wars or like Star Wars in any way, shape, or form, you'll probably enjoy it. Other than that, guys, enough self-promotion on that side. We got everything covered, I think. Check out Nitehawk.com, NitehawkPaintball.com. Check out the Facebook groups. You can check it all throughout. We have Facebook groups for Layin ropes. We have Facebook groups for Fortification Productions, Nitehawk Paintball and Airsoft, Northwest Nitehawk. Palouse Paintball has, I believe. Do you guys have a Facebook group? I'm waiting for the response. But
for who?
For Palouse Paintballers, do they have a Facebook?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, Palouse Ballers, Paintballers.
For sure. Yeah. So
post up.
Yep, post up, man.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, this is your time to promote.
Yeah, this is the guys out in Palouse. They do some games down there on their field. They come up to us and support us. So
yeah, and if you know anybody who wants to help the show grow or anything like that, we do have a Patreon page. If you want to check it out, there are some rewards that come with that are awesome. So if you check it out, defortification.com, which you can see on the top of the screen right here where it says the Facebook and the Discord, that's how you spell it. So defortification.com, that'll show you, that's pretty much the central hub for us. So anything, the Discord channel's on there, you can see who's live, all that stuff. But the main thing is we do have a Patreon page that we're starting up, so if anybody wants to donate even $1 a month, get perks because of that.
$1.
It starts off at $1 a month if you want to help out help out anybody like that. You got all the proceeds.
Everybody helps.
All the proceeds go into Get Raptor a Steak fund.
Steak?
Yeah, it buys me steak.
Wow.
It gets me.
How about a better mic?
Steak and pancakes. That's what gets me.
Raptor needs a better mic.
Actually, it's help Raptor keep his BMW running so he can keep going out to Nitehawk.
Oh, that's called get a different car.
Yeah, I'll rollerblade out there if I have to. But anyway, guys,
I don't think those electric scooters will make it out there.
No, the green scooters. Also, guys, this episode will be up on YouTube this weekend. I'll put it up on Saturday. And so just for anybody who hasn't seen it live, they can jump on and watch it on the channel and promote it there as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe to that channel if you want to see it there.
And we got Palouse Paintballers that also have their Facebook and their. So I'm sure we can maybe cross promote too on that.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that. So yeah, if you guys do want to donate, check it out on defortification.com. There's a section called Patrons, and you get some perks. You get access to your own chat room. So you guys will have your own private chat room. You guys we get ideas for the show from there, and then also you can get on the show depending. And actually, if you donate a large amount of money, there's a larger amount of money up to the point where you become a sponsor of the field, because by the point that you're paying that much a month, you're already a sponsor. So it's like $200 a month. So if you're willing to donate $200 a month, I'll call you a sponsor, unless it's expensive in some way, shape. And anyway, thanks, Ricky, and thanks, Palouse Paintballers, thanks, Crazy, and everybody else who's been in the chat. Feel free to share this and like it if you can. Actually, just share this. There's no like button. And I'll put it up on YouTube for other people to watch as well. So thanks a lot for watching, and we will catch you guys.
Yeah, thanks for being patient, guys. We're still little bugs.
Not better.
Matt's microphone cutting out, and
my microphone's amazing.
I don't know what happened on the beginning for me.
I know exactly what happened. It was my fault. It was the input settings.
Oh, see,
I pushed the wrong thingy.
Oh, the button.
There was one thingy I had to push, and I pushed the other thingy, and then you guys were muted.
Okay. Well, you're learning too.
I'm also a self-absorbed paintballer, so that means I just want to hear my own voice. I want to just hear my own
spider. You're still working on that spider.
All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good one.
All right, man. Peace out.
Out.